Really interesting interview you should all listen to. There's a longer one, it's on trigonometry on YouTube, with Peter Hitchens being interviewed by Constantine Kisson and his friend. Peter Hitchens is one of the most knowledgeable political commentators of our time, because he's been far left, he's been a former communist, so he knows how they work. And Kier Starmer is, I believe, to be further left, way further left than Jeremy Corbyn. So whatever you were afraid of with Jeremy Corbyn, it's coming in buckets from Kier Starmer. It's a strange thing because people say he's only been in power 4 weeks, but I think he's been groomed from many years ago because of his background. You need to listen to it's just 4 minutes. Find it on my page, find it on Trigonometry, find it on, I think, Tommy Robinson New Era on Twitter. Concerned Citizen on Twitter have got it up. I'll have it on my Facebook page. Listen. There's a lot of insight there, saves you a lot of research, brings you up to date, helps you inform other people that don't think anything's wrong. And I think that's one of the most important things we can do, is inform people who don't think there's anything wrong. Key thing about this is when he explains about the identity politics, they call it sexual politics, he calls it, and how Kier Starmer actually does believe in it. He genuinely believes in it. But the thing that's going to affect most ordinary people is the bit about who he says he'll support. In an interview with Nick Ferrari, he says, Kier Starmer said he'll support working people. Nick Ferrari said, who do you consider working people? And Starmer said, anyone with no savings.
The thing was when he was finally asked a political question in an interview a week or so ago. Nick Ferrari asked him, when he kept on referring to working people and they wouldn't face any more taxes, who did he mean by working people? And he said, in effect, I won't try and quote exactly, but what the effect of what he said was that the people he does not regard as working people are people with savings. Now, there are many, many people in this country who are not particularly well off, who do have savings and who have managed to accumulate assets. They will all, I think, face very strong egalitarian taxation in one form or another under this government. There are other things,
but... So what does that leave me? Why should I have my assets taken off me? They're mine, I work for them. I didn't inherit them. Nobody gave them to me, I didn't fiddle them. I don't lead a life of crime. Who gives you the right to decide that? Who gives this government the right to decide what they can do on this big stuff? And this is why trying to lobby for direct democracy, where big issues are put back to the public. What we've got to look at with the pensioners, people wipe them under the table like we're all too old and we pee the bed and we can't make sense. I'm a pensioner. I don't want to be treated like that. I've got more common sense than half the rabble that's coming out of university, because they've been educated just enough to make them think they've had an education, but not enough to question what they've been taught. So unfortunately, I don't hold a great deal of respect for education by the university system, because to get that, they've crushed apprenticeships. So where do all these highfalutin, Guardian reading, better off, educated types think they're going to get their extension built with? Where are you going to get your builders from? What about when you've got a short in your electrics at home, or you need your sink unblocking and you need a plumber? Where are they going to get? Because everybody's just going to have these fantastic educations, aren't they? Everybody's going to be too educated to do menial tasks, whereas menial tasks before brought a good living for most people. But the key thing here is when he says, I'll run that over in my head time and time again, and I'll think, right, how can I fight this? He's going to come after people with savings. He's only going to protect people who have no savings. So what's the outcome of that? Think about it. The outcome of that is not a levelling up, it's a levelling down. It's getting everyone to be poor. Everyone is not going to be encouraged to grow anything, growing themselves or grow a fortune. Why can't you be an entrepreneur? Why can't you do your own thing? You should be allowed to. It's supposed to be a free country. So when he says that, and you know full well they've stopped the winter heating allowance for people who have any money, if you've got savings over £6,000, you're toast unless you're over 80. And now, in 2025, his Chancellor plans to stop the cap on social care allowances. Let me explain it. Currently, if you have assets, will be charged for your social care, and the person sat next to you who is potless will get it for free, even if they're in the same home, getting the same facilities. But there's a cap. Currently, you can't take more than £85,000 off an individual that's gone into care. But in 2025, they're stopping it. There's no cap. So they can just eat into your fortune, or small fortune, nest egg, whatever you want to call it. The cap's been removed. Imagine a government in its first weeks in power, and the target practice is the pensioner. The ones that have worked all their lives and paid into the system and have managed to still live. God forbid, this last 3 years, a lot of them didn't. Imagine your twilight years are faced with, well, you've built this XYZ up that you wanted to leave to your kids, and some loon has decided to come up with a legislation to take it off you. As Hitchens says, we're going to be taxed, because governments run on other people's money. And when you're a socialist government, you soon run out of other people's money. So you have to come up with ideas to take it off them again. And if you listen to the interview, it explains what this hardcore socialism is like. The red and the green. The red being the politics of it, and the green being these agendas. They're all excuses for taxes. They're excuses to take your money off you. But wrap it up in a nice big bow so that the gullible will believe it's necessary. Well, I'm not gullible, and I don't believe it's necessary, and I don't believe it should be done. But the only thing we've got in our favour is numbers. There's enough people that might not take to the streets to protest, but people will be naffed off that they're going to be hit because they've got savings. So if I was a younger end of society and I had a grandma that might just leave me 5 or 10 grand, or if I was the children of an elderly couple with a nice house, you need to be getting active. You need to be sorting your life out. You need to be taking some advice on this, because these clowns are going to take it right from under you. Now, a lot of people wonder what you can do to get through it. Well, I'm a big believer in making sure you don't lose your sense of humour. You've got to keep that, because that's a gift. Your sense of humour is a gift. And that will help you get through. I go into character sometimes and do silly people that I invent, like Miranda Street Bob, middle class, smug middle class recycler. I like to do Miranda because I know she gets right up your nose, because she says everything you know is complete rubbish, and yet she manages to do it in a really smug way. I do her because I like to get things across. I used to do a Russian prostitute during Brexit. Used to put a fur hat on and pretend to be a retired Russian prostitute called Svetlana, retired Russian prostitute. Brexit good for Britain, but no good for a Russian prostitute. Because I can't work a living here, I have to go back to motherland. I do stuff like that, but I had to stop doing it because I kept getting these messages from old men. Because I won't get them from young men because I'm too old. I'm a retired prostitute, don't forget, when I'm doing it. And they'd be sending me pictures of themselves, naked in a bathroom, with baggy underpants pulled down round the, come on, that's not pin-up stuff, is it? Especially at my age, like I want to see that. I didn't go into nursing with camera like this, getting right angle. And filthy grouting on towels. And they'd ask for selfies. Have you got any photos? I'd go, yeah. So I'd send them a picture of Sillet Bang back, or Detox Mould and Mildew Remover. Have that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing this because I want attraction. One actually sent me a picture of himself with his leg up on his bedside cabinet and a penis pump. That's supposed to impress me. I'm sad I've got to the age where that actually, apparently for some people, is impressive. That, come on, Frank, it's up and ready. No thanks. I'd rather have a box of chocolates and a good film. So I stopped doing Svetlana. I do other people as well. I do Vicky from the estate. Vicky's so stupid that you can say really stupid things and get away with it. Like Vicky, she's got 4 kids to 5 different dads. She knows that chocolate is going up in price, so she's going to buy all her chocolate this week before the taxes go up. I do her to get a point across. I'm not being rude to anybody. Vicky doesn't exist. Svetlana doesn't exist. But I do it because doing this all the time can be a bit soul destroying. So if you lighten it up, and people will listen if they're being entertained, that's how I look at it. I do anyway. Ricky Gervais gets a lot of points across. I love that man. I'd love to do that job, wouldn't you, at the Oscars? Oh, you just love to like give them a piece. I'd love that. So that's why I do the humour thing, because I think it's one of the most important assets we've got here in Britain. They don't have that same sense of humour abroad. Can you imagine the French? They don't have a sense of humour like us. They're so serious because, of course, they have Macron running the country and the Olympics. They've got, now we have a section in the Olympics for break dancing. Oh, break dancing. Yeah, that's what kids do when they're out on the streets. That's not a sport. So, you know, the Italians, they're too busy making love and fast sports cars, aren't they? To get a sense of humour. British have a right good sense of humour. I was once on a cruise on an MSC ship, which is an Italian. It was like being on just on Frontier. All messages come through on ship. Massive bloody ship. Beautiful vessel. Crap food. You could pay for better restaurants, but it was crap anyway. And we ended up in Gibraltar. And we didn't get off because we've been to Gibraltar a few times. And we're on this MSC ship. And it's literally, when you walk in that ship, is Bonjour, Madame et Monsieur, Guten Tag, meine Damen und meine Herren. We're last. We've got Bolivian. Well, that's Spanish, isn't it? But they're speaking every language but English. Good day to all ladies and gentlemen. And all their announcements came in like 15 bloody languages. And you had to sit there listening, wondering what was going to be said. Food was crap. Ship was nice. Cabin was all right. We're in Gibraltar. We didn't get off because I'm sick of people, well, monkeys nicking me bananas on the rock. And there was another ship in, a P&O ship, British, and we were moored right next to it. And we're there on this, everybody's a little bit foreign because they're all from somewhere else. In fact, it was that bad. If it weren't for being with another couple, me and Dave were going to get off in Malaga. I said, I've had bloody enough of this. Because I look at it this way, if you're having a duff holiday, you've 2 things you can do. You've wasted your money, or are you going to continue wasting your time? Or are you going to bolt? Well, we've not been with another couple, we're gone. Anyway, so we're there. Didn't like it, waste of money. You've gone packing, you've had pat down. It's the nearest thing I get to sex these days at Manchester Airport. Pat down, you've had pat down. Make sure you're not carrying anything concealed. And you've stripped off. I've had less clothing off on a day, have you? Manchester Airport, and I can take your shoes off, I can take your belt off, I can take your earrings out. What about the pacemaker? Can I leave that in? I've got one. So we stood on deck having a penis collider, or whatever you call them, pina colada. And our ship's filling up, ready to set sail. And the British one is going out just before us, full of Brits. And this goes, right, sunshine, this like northern accent, this entertainment officer, she goes, right, sunshine, we're going to have a right belting sing-song now. We're going to belt it out. We're going to have show me the way to go home. The writing's on the wall. And she had all singing there, show me the way to go home. Oh, I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I'm really bloody crying over that homesick. And I thought, I want to be on that ship with them, having a laugh. We're leaving, they're all in chiffon. Oh, it's been a super day. It's just us, isn't it? It's how we are. And I don't mind being working class at all. I couldn't give a what anybody thinks about my background. My background showed me love and affection. It showed me how to make a penny last. And I'm glad I've got all that grounding in me, and I've not been some spoilt middle-class yours having a gap year before they've put a year in. So never lose your sense of humour. Keep the fun in life, because life can be fun.